So Mimzi Moon, is a children's book author, and she does videos on YouTube. This is her. And we're gonna read her bio, and then we're gonna watch one of her videos, okay? So she has an Amazon page, as you do as an author. And oh my god! Uh-oh. 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 Here's the thing, guys. I just realized I have Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited is kind of like Netflix, but for books. And this series is on it. So maybe after we read the bio, we'll take a look at one of the books. About Mimzi Moon. Hello, I am Mimzi Moon. Not my real name, but I don't want the leftist mob to show up at my door. So I want to be truthful about where I've come from for four reasons. First of all, I hope my story can be an inspiration to others. Second, because I don't want someone in the future to find out my name, look into my past, and then try and out me to the public. Like, you need to know who this person is, who is teaching your children. I'd rather out myself first, so I'll never have to look over my shoulder. Thirdly, because I know it would be easy to think, who does this middle-class, middle-aged, white privileged woman think she is, lecturing me about how to live their lives and how she's never had to go through anything? And how could she understand? And lastly, I hope others can see my story as a lesson and a word of warning. Dude spanking dudes, do it, Hannah. Here's some bits for a bribe for you to read it. Okay. She says, I could obviously write a book on my life story, but I'll keep it as brief as possible. Okay, so I grew up in a middle-class family in California in the 70s, raised by my mother and stepfather, an only child until I was 10. My parents never actually abused or neglected me, but neither did they show me any real attention or affection. I reminded my mother of the ex she hated. And when I turned 14, I started looking for love and acceptance elsewhere. I became promiscuous, started drinking and sneaking out to meet with boys. I wouldn't come home sometimes and would leave a message on the answering machine that I was okay. The best thing my parents could have done would have been to start talking to me, start showing me some attention, and teaching me right from wrong and why it matters. What they did is get rid of me. They made me a ward of the court and said they never wanted to speak to me again, and they meant it. I tried many times over the years to connect with my mother, but to this day she refuses to speak to me. So at the age of 14, having never been taught any morals or values, becoming a streetwalker sounded like a fine choice. Honestly, I never saw anything wrong with it. I do them a favor and they do me a favor, I would say. Right, not too long after I discovered meth and thought it was great. I don't mean to downplay the severity of her past addiction, but the sentence, I discovered meth and thought it was great, is funny to me. Seems like an understatement, but okay. Thank you to Paul the Potato for following. I would think meth's probably great. A lot of people ruin their lives for it. And that became my lifestyle for years to come. I had my first son at 17. I had no idea who his father was, and it never crossed my mind that he would need one. I got on welfare and joked that I was having babies for the government because they would give me money every time I had another one. I had 3 of them, one after the other, all different fathers. Why not? I continued to bring multiple boyfriends and girlfriends in and out of their lives. I never actually stopped to think about how this could affect my kids. I had a 4-year-long affair with one of the moms in our neighborhood, even though we were both in relationships with men at the time. Mine left me, hers beat her. We would make out in front of our 6 kids and their friends and spend much of our days behind closed doors smoking meth and doing other things while our kids ran around the neighborhood unsupervised. We saw nothing wrong with this. When I compared myself to other moms, I knew, and all the other people who I associated with, I thought I was a great mom and it was a pretty good person. Sorry, I'm going down to see what you guys are saying. You're just potato on YouTube. Okay. I later compared myself to those bad moms who didn't show up for the foster home visitations like I did, and I thought I was mom of the year when I actually got them back. I eventually met another guy and had another baby, and we set off on a crime spree like they're Bonnie and Clyde. We were both high-functioning and smart meth addicts. No comment. So we devised a plan to rip off Walmart and Home Depot, and we supported our whole family this way for 8 years. Hey, we were living pretty large. After using meth for 16 years. That's a long meth run. I think most people burn out before that and, like, get you know, they die, is what I'm trying to get at. I actually started to think that maybe it wasn't such a good idea anymore, that maybe it was hurting my health, and meth mouth is a bitch. Here is a tip. If you are writing a bio in your Amazon page and you are a children's book author, don't put the word bitch in your bio. Probably also don't mention on the bio that you're, you know, a previous meth user. Dr. Gamble, this bio is basically conservative, a series of unfortunate events, not saying that what happened to her, it can't happen, but it also just so crazily sad with the moral that right is good and drugs are bad. Yeah. So we moved to Texas. Changing my surroundings actually worked for me. I quit, no rehab or anything. I hear I'm a statistical anomaly, but my boyfriend wasn't so lucky. He was in and out of jail and we split. So not knowing how to support my 4 kids on my own and without California's generous welfare system, I went back to what I know, sex work. And I pretty much traded the meth for alcohol.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
The word bitch is one of your critiques with the bio. Considering it's like a children's book author, yeah. Like, I don't know. Obviously, for like again, considering the audience that this is for children, but again, it's probably parents who are going to be reading the bio. I just find it to be like, I feel like a lot of conservative parents wouldn't be thrilled that their kid might learn the word bitch through this. I like that she also admits that because she doesn't have access to a welfare system that can help her out, it made her resort to sex work. But she's a conservative. The system failed her in Texas because she couldn't get help, and it made her return to sex work. And I pretty much traded meth for alcohol. By this time, my older kids were becoming teenagers. My oldest son escaped to the military. My daughters went wild, and I became the cool mom. You know that one. They're going to do it anyway, so they might as well do it at home where it's safe. I would even throw them parties and supply to them alcohol to them and all their friends. I got a scene haircut, a bunch of tattoos, and started shopping at Hot Topic. Oh no! Not Hot Topic! The boys thought I was a MILF. You were on meth. I don't know about that. Like, even if you're past, you know, doing the meth, you probably got a little bit of meth mouth going on. I don't know if any MILF has meth mouth. That'd be a good children's book. The MILF with meth mouth. Teach kids about alliteration. They were hooking up doing drugs. Kids were coming in and out all hours of the night. I complained about it, but I was weak and they all walked over me. I felt powerless, so I would just try to look the other way. My idea of being a good mom was to buy them whatever they wanted and do everything for them while expecting nothing from them. They were spoiled and ungrateful to the point of being abusive, so I gave them mental disorders to explain their behavior. Even gotten a doctor to prescribe them more drugs. I was a rub and tug girl on I was a rub and tug girl on Craigslist, and I made good money. We had a beautiful house, car, clothes. My daughter always told me they wanted to do what I did when they turned 18. I saw nothing wrong with that. So that's what they did. I even paid for their ads for years to help them out. I was just grateful they were moving out of my house, though each of them would move back in with me from time to time when they would fail and were looking for a sucker. I didn't really deserve that nice house. I knew it, and so did my neighbors. I downsized until I ended up in a trailer park. My oldest... This is like conservative Mad Libs. My oldest daughter had a couple of kids and was expecting me to raise them. My youngest son ended up going to live with his father in Florida, and I ended up meeting another guy. We decided to sell what we had, bought an RV, and literally ran away from my daughters and grandkids. They had both become heroin addicts, and my oldest one lost her kids. She went to jail for human trafficking. I don't mean to laugh. This is all incredibly depressing, but it just keeps getting more and more depressing as it goes on. And it's so messed up. Oh, God. She went to jail for human trafficking for a minor when she tried to help a streetwalker by moving her into her house and putting an ad for her on Craigslist. That would be being a pimp for a minor. Don't do that.
Hello, chat. As a cleanse when you're done reading this, I made an emote.
Okay, cool. It turned out she was 16-year-old runaway. She will have to register as a sex offender for the rest of her life. Wait a minute, why am I telling you all this? Please, yeah, why? Is there a moral to said story? Well, people tell their walkaway stories. They talk about why they left the Democratic Party and joined the Republican Party. And those are all very true and aren't made up. This is kind of like that, but I had no interest in politics. I didn't even know the difference between the two. But still, I was about as far left as you can get. I kind of doubt it.
Does she not realize? Okay, so she made like a living, or at least got by doing sex work.
Yeah, hold on. Wind Chanter with 10 bits. Good thing she found right-wing values after all this happened. Otherwise, it might be her fault rather than her parents for not raising her right.
Like.
Yeah, if sex work was like legal and safe in that you had like regulated brothels or regulated ways of doing that would be safer. She probably would have had a better time if that's, like, a line of work she decided to get into.
Yeah, because, like, as a Republican, Republicans are normally against, legalization of sex work.
Yeah. What are liberal values? Do what feels good and don't let anyone shame you. Am I wrong? Yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong. Like, left-wing values would be like, hey, everyone deserves to be treated equally, like, for things that are beyond their control, like, people shouldn't be affected by racism or classism or all sorts of ridiculous things, and we should strive to create an environment where people can thrive, and if something bad happens to them, they can get back up on their feet by using something like assistance, right? Like some sort of social safety net. We should provide to people things like healthcare and availability to education. So if you would like to do something other than being a rub and tug girl on Craigslist, you can go to college and get an education. I love you too. She continues. Being a slut is empowering. Sex work is real work. Sex work is real work. You were just in a really, really effed up situation where you had to be, like, part of the dregs of society because society criminalized the activity that you were doing and got you in with a bunch of people who probably got you addicted to methamphetamine.
I hate this woman.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either. Shout your abortion. There's nothing wrong with being a single mother. We don't need men. Disciplining your kids is child abuse. Anything goes. No one says disciplining your kids is child abuse. Hitting your kids is child abuse. Anything goes, so let your freak flag fly. I mean, pretty much. I have no problem with the way that you are, like, dressed at all. But, like, how can you be making fun of let your freak flag fly and this is what you're dressing like? Like, it's great. I'm glad you found something that works for you in terms of how you want to look. But, like, it's weird that you're criticizing, letting your freak flag fly when you also have a pretty alternative look. Shooting up in the streets is acceptable because everyone is acceptable. No. The most I hear from people on the left in terms of allowing people to shoot up is getting things like, I forget which country has them, but they have like heroin hotels, which is basically a clean, safe environment for if you are addicted to some drug like meth or heroin or whatever. You could come in and they will provide you a dose that will not kill you of a tested drug that definitely isn't going to be like fentanyl or something, and they'll provide you an area to do that. Meanwhile, they will work with you because you have an addiction, which is a health issue, not a legal issue. At least it should be this way. In this country it is. They work with you to try and get you off the drug in a safe way and in a how do I put this? Without putting you in jail and ruining your life, basically. So that kind of thing is good, yes. These are all things I would have wholeheartedly agreed with. You could have easily convinced me that conservative values were akin to fascism and white supremacy. Not that I cared about things that didn't directly affect me at the moment. Okay, then you weren't left, were you? Let me sum this up by saying that because my mother never taught me any values, it affected the 3 generations beneath her and counting. So what has become of us? Well, by the grace of God, it turned out that the guy I ran away with turned out to be a great guy. He didn't drink or smoke, and in time I started to lose interest in those things. And for the first time in my adult life, I could see that I didn't need to be an adult entertainer to make a living, and I didn't need alcohol to get through my day. My oldest daughter found Jesus in jail, and it completely changed her life. My youngest daughter eventually followed our lead. My oldest son came back from the military and became a mechanic. We are now all very close. My youngest son still lives with his father in Florida, and the day that Trump won the election, we started paying attention to politics. Oh, Jesus Christ. I guess it wasn't boring anymore. We started to discover what we actually believed in. We adopted conservative ideas and began to implement them in our lives. We were lost, and now we're found. The miracle in our lives was so profound for our family that I felt a calling to teach others that we have learned. I want to help make a difference in the lives of young people before they have a chance to take the path we did. So I hope you buy my books and watch my shows, Adventures in Snortling's Hollow, available on YouTube. 10% of all proceeds will go to a charity that digs wells in areas where people don't have clean water to drink. Most of the rest will go towards fixing my teeth. That tracks. Okay. So, now that we know about the author, let's take a look at one of her books. I doubt we'll read the whole thing, but let's do a little bit of one of the books, and then we will watch one of her videos. Adventures in Snort... Also, it's hilarious, and someone's gonna make this joke, so I gotta point it out. A meth addict named her kids' book series Adventure in Snortling's Hollow. The little creatures, they're called Snortlings. She's a meth addict, or was a meth addict. It's not connected, believe it or not.
Upload my emote that I made.
Okay. We got an emote I gotta upload. Hold on, let me switch this so you can't see my email.
I wanted to get approved before screen ed.
Also
Tell me how you think it looks.
You don't think he can snort meth? Tuco snorted meth on, you sent it to the... I don't see it. Tuco snorted meth in Breaking Bad.
It's not this email, it's the Hannah Reloaded one.
This is that one. It might just take a while.
It might have gone in your spam.
I know it took a long time last time. Sorry, everyone. Where is my spam folder? That was how you used to do it? Okay, so yeah. You can snort meth. Yeah, hitting send would help. There it is! Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Let me just upload this. And then we can get to the book.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Hopefully that'll be live sometime soon, the new emote. Now let me get back to the thing that I was talking about. Sorry, people on YouTube who are watching this after the fact. Anyway, so here are the books. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow presents Luna and the Sheeling Warriors. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow presents Luna and the Uninvited Newlings. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow, which is just the first one. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow presents Luna and the Big Day. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow presents Luna and the Silencers. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow presents Luna and the Snowflakes. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow presents Luna and the Land of the Free. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow presents Luna and the Defenders. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow presents Luna and the Changelings. Adventures in Snortling's Hollow presents Luna and the Pretenders. Which one should we read? Which one should we read? Snowflakes, uninvited guests. Someone says book 1. Snowflake, snowflake. Start at the beginning. Start at the beginning. Snowflakes, book 1, snowflake, snowflakes. Snowflakes wins, because it's probably going to be about exactly what we think it's going to be about. These all were published, let's see, July 21st. Between July 21st and, let's see, we have August 1st. July and August of this year, these are all uploaded. Let's do the snowflakes. Oh, did I cancel my Kindle Unlimited plan? We might actually not be able to read it. That's a shame.
Funny about the tools of
For
capitalism.
Cleanse later, since you looked at that nuclear map recently, there's a very nice video on the subject. Okay. It's interesting that we're in a place where watching a nuclear video is cleanse. Anyway, let's watch one of her videos. So, she does this YouTube channel in conjunction with her children's books, and it's this one is What Makes You So Special? Learn Conservative Values. Now, bear in mind, this show is meant for ages 13 and up, and I think she fundamentally misunderstands the age group that this kind of puppeteering appeals to. Like, the aesthetic of, like, literally just holding a puppet right there and doing bad ventriloquism like she does is more like a 5-year-old thing, like 4, 5, maybe 6, you know what I mean? We're talking like Sesame Street. We're not talking the Muppets or Labyrinth, you know? But this is supposed to be for 13-year-olds. I feel like most 13-year-olds would laugh at this. It is not a parody. I know people are going to say, oh, this has got to be a parody. It's not a parody.
It's a beautiful day in Snortling's Hollow. You could learn a little something. Would you like to follow? They're pulling you left, but you might want to go right. Let's take a little trip and it could shed some light. If you don't agree with our point of view, you don't have to make a big to-do. Just watch another video stopping you. We're not trying to tell you what to do. This episode is brought to you by Adventures in Snortling's Hollow, the book series. Available on Amazon, link in the description below. Hi there, it's me, Mimzi
Funny
Moon.
about the tools of capitalism.
A nuclear blast would be a cleanse right now. This ain't no dark castle.
Your favorite host with a conservative show for people 13 and up. And I'm
Nothing
Piper.
funny about the tools of capitalism.
Look, I probably shouldn't criticize someone who, like, I can't puppeteer, and I can't throw my voice. It's a skill set I don't have. Unfortunately, I can say the same about this woman. Hi, kids! I'm definitely not moving my mouth!
Your favorite non-conservative co-host who is a monster.
So they are conservative.
And we are here to teach.
I need to get one of those stream boxes so I can just have a rim shot sound effect ready for when I make bad jokes.
Teach you values and lessons from a conservative point of view. I'm not. Okay.
This is going to literally be the most pure example of a straw man, because the puppet's supposed to not be conservative, but she's conservative. According to her, she only got interested in politics after Donald Trump won the election, which is so bizarre. She's like an adult woman in her 30s, and she's like, I'm only interested in politics now that Donald Trump's president. And she's probably going to make really bad arguments and then have the puppet make really, really straw-man-y left-wing arguments. And she'd be like, but no, don't you love freedom? Hooray.
Just me then. I'm here to keep her in check so she doesn't go all crazy right-wing radical on you. It's not easy, though. Yikes. If you say so, Piper. So, you're on time for a change. I appreciate that. Don't get used to it. I'm a free spirit. I'm like the wind. I have...
Oh, God! What made her decide to make this a puppet show? 13-year-olds don't want to watch a puppet. It would be like... You guys know about Lamb Chop? Okay, so... Lamb Chop was like a children's character made by, I'm actually not sure of this woman's name, but I watched, I had some videotapes of Lamb Chop as a kid. Like, it's this kind of thing where she's, like, got a puppet, and it's right there, and it's clear that she's doing the puppet, but, you know, you're a kid, you don't care. And it's, like, doing lessons, and Lamb Chop has different, like, things, and, like... I can put her in this category specifically because she's not Jim Henson, right? Like, she's not Jim Henson at all.
Nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Jim Henson is like... hold on, let me get some of these bit messages. Gim Pig with 50 bits. Free the puppet, and Enlid with 10 bits. It has that song that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. True. Oh, Sherry Lewis. Yes, Sherry Lewis. So, like, Jim Henson, who made the Muppets and Sesame Street, which are technically Muppets, if you don't know, amazing puppeteer. And the Henson Workshop pioneered a whole new generation of puppeteers that are just amazing at their craft, right? That's why you look at the Muppets and, like, even though you know Kermit the Frog and Gonzo and Fozzie Bear, they're not real people, right? There's a buy-in there that's very, very easy because the puppeteers do such a good job of, like, giving animation to these, you know, pieces of cloth, and it's very cool. Something like Lamb Chop doesn't have that verisimilitude. At no point do you feel like, wow, Lamb Chop's a real character. But it's for little kids, and it's like, oh, learn little lessons with Lamb Chop, and it's fine. But, like... That's for, like, kids, right? Like, little children. Like, 4-year-olds. This is supposed to be for 13-year-olds and up. And she's doing the Lamb Chop thing. And I don't understand why. Does she not understand that 13-year-olds aren't... Like, a 13-year-old could be interested in the Muppets, or the movie Labyrinth, or Dark Crystal, right? Because those are all really well done. And even adults enjoy those things because, like, the Jim Henson studio is just that impressive. But, like, this lady's doing this for 13-year-olds. They're too old for this. What's up?
Gimpy G, not Gimpig.
Gimpy G? Okay. Sorry. It looked like that to me. I apologize. Joke's on you, Beelzebub. I've wanted to be dead for years. Free Sprite? Does she think all the left-leaning folks are hippies or something? I think so. Beelzebub, we're not even a minute in and I want to die. The only reason she says 13 and up is because she doesn't want to be accused of indoctrinating children. Oh, possible. That would make sense.
Yeah, she mentioned that it's, like, illegal for her to advertise to children.
Well, that's not going to fly if YouTube catches wind of this. Like, even if you say at the beginning of your show, And this is, I know this, I've been on YouTube for 8 years, and recently they really cracked down on content for kids, which is something I've never done, so I don't really care. It doesn't affect me. I mean, I care in the sense that it's something that affects a platform that I'm a part of, but it's not something that directly affects me, so it's just not relevant to, like, the kind of content I make. But, like, if you make content, even if you say, this is not for kids, if the content is still implicitly pretty kid-friendly, YouTube will still ding you for that, and they'll be like, no, this is clearly for kids. The animation people were having problems with this, because YouTube was basically blanketly saying, well, you make animation's for children, which is like a thing that's in the West. The West, a lot of people see cartoons as like, only little kids watch cartoons. So she could definitely get dinged for this.
She meant literal advertising, like her Google ads for her videos that she would, like, she was advertising her videos like Abby Shapiro.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So people constantly are saying, like, oh, how is this for 13 and up in the comments? And she always, like, responds, like, you know, people are gonna like whatever they like, and blah, blah, blah.
Stellar Sea Cow, a friend of mine makes content for adults but reviewed some children's music and got dinged. Yeah. Yeah. That'll happen.
Haven't seen you at home all day. What have you been up to?
Oh, I just got back from my Monster Rights Rally.
Ooh, Monster Rights Rally. Now monsters need to fight for their rights too?
Oh!
Yeah, I'm a monster and a woman. That's 2 victim groups. That makes me intersectional.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Oh,
capitalism.
Jesus fucking Christ. Dude spanking dudes with 10 bits. I hate how you gotta make sure it's not for kids, but you can't curse either or talk about heavy topics or else no ad revenue. Yeah, YouTube is very, very silly. Oh,
So double victim points.
No, it means I'm twice as oppressed and have to fight twice as hard. You don't understand because you aren't a monster. So you need to keep your opinions to yourself.
Piper, have we met?
I mean, if monsters existed and there was, like, evidence that there was systematic racism going on against monsters, coupled with the fact that historically, at least in America, it's in a lot of other places too, but I'm American, so I'll come in here, women have been disadvantaged when compared to men in many aspects of life that aren't things like, you know, cleaning the house and taking care of kids and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be a thing. It's a weird thing to make fun of when it's a real thing that happens, but, you know, do you? I'm sure I shouldn't. I'm going to keep my mouth shut with what I want to say. I'm going to do it because I'm going to be a good person today. Just for today, I'm going to be a good person. We're not going to take the low road, okay? Ugh.
How likely do you think it is that I'll keep my opinions to myself?
Oh yeah, what was I thinking? You have a knack for putting your nose where it doesn't belong.
Doesn't belong? Says who? I don't have to be something to have an opinion on
There's nothing funny
something.
about the tools
I have
of
a brain and a voice.
Okay, but, like, your opinion is going to be less valuable than someone whose opinion is of those who have experienced it, right? Like, let's extrapolate this out to the real world. The high road is hard AF to walk sometimes. Yeah, it is. Oh, the vote emote works. You got a new emote, people who subscribe. It's a vote emote, which rhymes. Okay. So if you're a white person, and a person of color is like, hey, by the way, did you know that people who are the skin color that I am get mistreated by the police? And I know this through not only my personal experiences, but the experiences of my friends and family. And also look at this video of like a black person getting beat up by the cops or being murdered by the cops, and look at this other video, 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 and you as a white person go, nah, I don't think that's an issue. Yeah, your opinion is an uninformed one and therefore doesn't really have a place in the conversation, right? Cool. Glad we cleared that up. Windchanter, I'll take it for you. Oh no, I don't want to repeat mean things about her. Fine. Wind Chanter with 10 bits says, I'll take it for you. Her marriage is probably terrible, and from her bio, it sounds like she gets most of her opinions from her husband. Quite possibly. It's possible.
And whoever doesn't want to listen doesn't have to. And what about you? I seem to recall that you and your pink kitty hat club have some pretty strong opinions about men when you're not.
This is literally her just like doing surface level like Fox News viewer commentary on straw like men ideas of what liberals or left-wingers are, and her like putting it in a weird puppet context, like instead of like feminists hate men, which by the way, no we don't, but she's like, feminists hate men, but she like flowers it up in like a weird kitty way where she's like, you and your pink hat people really say mean things about men, don't you, puppet? We sure do. Can we give Fox her own kids show, please? Oh, God.
Not men yourselves.
Well, that's different.
Well, no, it's not. When you say something is okay for some people but not okay for others, that's called a double standard, and I ain't trying to hear it.
And I ain't trying to hear it. Cool. Dr. Gamble with 10 bits. Hannah, I'll have you know I have the word doctor in front of my name, and that means I know all about the doctory things. Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Oh, yeah?
Well, what?
Well, I oughta...
Piper, what? Are you getting angry with me?
Yeah.
She's literally creating like a fake straw man lefty to get mad at her, so she seems like the reasonable one in the argument. But it's her arguing with herself.
I don't want to fight
I want to say so many things that I'm
with you, Piper. I care about you, and I hate it when you turn yourself into a victim. You are so much more than that.
What the heck do you mean, turn yourself into a victim? It's not my fault I'm a monster. Everyone knows that monsters are oppressed.
Well, I don't agree, and I know plenty of monsters and people from other so-called oppressed groups that don't agree either.
Haha, I have people like, very reasonable and not at all shill Jesse Lee Peterson and Candace Owens. Clearly, these two individuals, above literally millions of other people with different lived experiences who aren't wealthy, these two agree with me, though. So, I'm gonna go with them.
There's nothing
Are
funny
you
about
trying to
tools of
say that
capitalism.
there's
Gimpy G, I have 100-bit bet that this puppet wins the debate.
no such thing as
Oh yes, and Kanye West.
bigotry and racism in this world?
No, there is some of that here and there.
Here and there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I don't know if the centuries of enslavement would count as here and there.
But it certainly does.
MMO addicted. I'd like this puppet as president more than Trump or my own prime minister.
Doesn't just come from one race. Bigots exist from across the color spectrum.
A black person calling me whitey or cracker is clearly the same thing as hundreds of years of slavery and then Jim Crow and segregation and redlining and making sure that they didn't get jobs at the same rates as white people and the war on drugs. But you called me whitey and it made me sad, so these things are equivalent.
And it certainly isn't everywhere you look like some people would have you believe. We can't go around expecting to be able to control everyone's thoughts, so why let it affect you?
Standing in Nazi Germany in the 1930s, Nazis on a street corner screaming about, you know, ethnic groups that they want to get rid of. This lady comes up with her puppet, and there's like some Jewish people standing by going like, we should do something, this is bad! She walks up with her puppet. Now don't you worry, guys! People are gonna think bad things about you, but you can't control them! Don't let it get to you!
Don't give away your power.
What do you mean, give away my power?
Oh my god! Why is she, at this point, why is she even trying to do the ventriloquism? Just do this. Just be like, why am I trying to give away my power? Instead of literally doing that, but with full-on lip movement. Why are they trying? Like, does she know that doing this is not the same as ventriloquism? What do you mean, my power?
Didn't you learn anything from my last show on the law of attraction? If any of our friends haven't seen it, it's really good, and I hope...
Just ADR the voice? Oh yeah, she could do that. This isn't a live puppet show. She could just add it later. Lame.
Hope you check it out. You are whatever you think you are. You give power to whatever you think about.
Oh yeah, law of attraction is The Secret, basically. You guys remember The Secret? It's the idea that, like, if you believe something and you, like, go out into the universe and you think, I want a promotion, magically you'll get the promotion, when really it's just a way of reframing your thoughts and being like, well, I'm thinking about wanting a promotion all the time, so that will affect the way I work and increase the likelihood that I have a promotion. Guar Stoneskin with 100 bits. Wait, what about the law of attraction? She thinks that's real? Yeah. Yeah, she does. Guys. Oh, I feel like the professor right now from the D&D game that we play over on Actual Jake's channel, where I want to say something, but, like, Alenia will punch me in the face if I do. So I'm gonna stay silent on this one. Enlid. I'm sure she'd have said the same thing about all those Tea Party protesters if this show was back in 2010, and she probably would have been critical of those militia members that took over a federal building in Oregon, right? Yeah, I'd imagine she's a hypocrite.
Whatever you believe, if you're certain...
The Secret, you mean that book by the lady who based her life on Field of Dreams? Yes. Why am I trying to be nice? Because the things I want to say could be considered derogatory to anyone who has struggled with addictions to methamphetamine, and I don't want to do that. That's not fair.
That racism and injustice lurks around every corner, and people are out to hurt you. You will find evidence for this wherever you look.
Nothing funny about the
But if you believe that things are basically good...
Dr. Gamble with 100 bits. I want a magical waifu. Where's my magical waifu? I wished upon 200 stars already.
good and fair and nobody's really out to get you, then that is what you'll see evidence for. Which world would you like to live in? The choice is yours.
Yeah. I heard all about this last week.
Okay then, Piper. Maybe a trip to Snortling's Hollow will help shed a little bit more light on the subject.
Snortling's Hollow, huh? Well, I would like to see my cute little avatar again.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot that you're a fellow interdimensional traveler now. Well, let's go on over to the lamp.
To the lamp!
Okay, stare into the lamp and let your
don't ruin cloaks for me.
Imagination run free. Allow your mind to travel.
Why are you using a salt lamp for this?
To another realm through the awesome power of...
Oh, please! So, there we are in front of the Beaver Clan Gazette, and we see Luna and Georgie there.
No, Georgie isn't there. It's his day off. What a...
This is what all the books are, too, by the way. She does a little and the model, by the way, she should stick with the model stuff because it's very cute. Like, she makes these little doll houses and with little doll furniture and puts stuff on the walls. It's all very adorable. She should definitely stick to that. Like, that's totally great. But the books are just like she does, you know, instead of illustrations, she basically has photographs that she poses, you know, the different characters on these little sets she makes.
Why don't you just let me tell the story? You can just stand there and look cute. I can do that. So, after exchanging greetings, Luna tells me that she's off to cover a protest that's going on in front of the college.
Did you say protest? Now you're talking my language. Let's go see what this is all about.
Well, I'm glad you're so enthusiastic. But let's let Luna lead the way. Well, says Luna, I sure am glad that you and your friend Piper were able to come today. It's nice having partners, especially since it's Georgie's day off. So, do you have an idea what this protest is all about, I asked? Sure. The leaders of the college are in there having a meeting on whether or not they should have something called affirmative action, Luna told me. I'm just here to interview beings on both sides of the argument for a balanced story for my paper.
Well, I see my
Nothing
people.
funny about the tools
They're
of
the ones
capitalism.
carrying the no hateling signs.
Ammo Addicted, imagine this with a refugee jail with little kids in cages and how she narrates that.
Can we go interview them first?
Sure, said Luna. I'm anxious to hear from both sides, I said. I'll follow you two. So can you tell me why you're here today, asked Luna. Of course.
They all have all the liberal trolls. This is a work of art, by the way. All the liberal trolls have angry faces and really, really red eyes.
I can tell you why I'm here, says one being. I'm here because I want to support diversity. We need to level the playing field for all beings. Yeah, says another. Weebling privilege has
funny
kept
about
other
the
types
tools
of
of
beings
capitalism.
down for far too long.
Look, I don't know the politics of this troll world, but, like, I'm guessing the implication that this is supposed to be one-to-one to our reality means that at some point one race of these trolls enslaved another race of these trolls, and then there was a troll civil war, and then troll Abraham Lincoln got shot in the head before Reconstruction, and then troll Jim Crow made a bunch of trolls do troll minstrel shows, and there was troll segregation, and troll Martin Luther King Jr. said, I have a dream, and then he got shot by the troll FBI. Oh, God, I think I missed a thing. As Compu, the refugee kids don't believe hard enough, obviously.
They deserve special privileges so they can catch up. I'm for equality of opportunity, but this sounds like equality of outcome, says Luna. What do you mean?
No, that's not what affirmative action is. See, in the United States, for a long time, and someone explained this well the other day, and I forget who it was, but I'm going to kind of, like, say what they said, not verbatim, and I don't remember who it is, so I apologize. But basically,
There's nothing
most
funny about
of
the tools of
the history
capitalism.
of the United States involves affirmative action for straight, white, landowning men. And what I mean by that is, I'm sure with the proper, like, opportunity, there were
There's nothing
many,
funny
many,
about the
like,
tools of capitalism.
non-white, non-men people throughout American history that if they'd been given the opportunity could have excelled in various fields. But straight white dudes all got together and decided, we have all the
funny about the
power,
tools of
so we're gonna
capitalism.
enact basically what is affirmative action for straight white men, and we're not gonna let anyone who isn't a straight white man into our industry. And this was the status quo for hundreds and hundreds of years. Sounds like a shitty reporter. No kidding. Ask Compu with a link. Doon 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 doon.
You just gotta believe.
Anyway, so at some point, people started to realize this is bullshit. We had rights movements from both first wave feminism and suffrage and second wave feminism, and then we also had all the civil rights stuff that happened, and we looked at the system and said, wow, there's basically only straight white men in every field in the country. We should probably enact some policies to start things moving in such a way as to make it more representative of the total population. Because right now we have an overrepresentation of straight white men that they have artificially created. And then when this happened and people were like, oh, we should do like affirmative action, but in such a way as to make sure that like it's not homogenous, a bunch of straight white men went, only we can do the affirmative action for straight white men. You can't do it in response. And they freak the fuck out about it. And it's hilarious. But it's also depressing. So here we
There's
are.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Winchanter with 10 bits. Okay, this is worse than Channel Awesome. This is my limit hand, and you found it.
By special privileges. We need to lower the test score requirements for certain types of beings so they have an easier time getting into college. What types are you talking about? I asked. Like people with learning disabilities? No, she exclaimed. I'm talking about the poor snoglings and maybe even squinklings too. Yeah, diversity and fairness for all. Fairness, says another. He seems upset by their answers, so he must be from the other side. How fair is it to the beings that worked hard to get the high test score,
There's nothing
only to
funny
have their
about the
spot
tools of
given to
capitalism.
someone who didn't earn it?
How fair was it for, I don't know the names of the different races of trolls here. I really don't know the names of the different ones. How fair is it that someone, let's say who's part of a minority community, was not given any breaks in life, and they went to a schooling system that was broken because the schooling system is funded by property taxes. They weren't taught well by their teachers and possibly had an effed up home life due to socioeconomic factors beyond their control, and therefore they might score lower on an entrance test. Like, that's the point. The point of something like affirmative action in terms of like getting people into college is like, wow, they were already disadvantaged, but they did pretty well, although probably not quite as much as this person who more likely statistically had more advantages in their life. So we're going to give this person the opportunity, right? And if you don't like this stuff, that's fine. Then what you need to do is to advocate for education for everyone as it stands right now, because we have private colleges and even public colleges that cost a lot of money to attend. We end up in a situation where you have these like things where people like don't get to go to college for one reason or another. How about we all, and I'm in favor of like doing like affirmative action stuff in the system we have now, but I would much prefer if we were in a system where everybody can get an education and it's all paid for via taxes, because you know what would be great, and you know what I think is good for everyone and for a healthy country? Living in a country full of educated people. I think that sounds good.
Yeah, says another. And I find this affirmative action stuff extremely insulting. They think I need special privileges in order to get into college? Like I'm not smart enough to do it on my own just because of what I look like on the outside? Are they...
Yes, clearly affirmative action is literally because of the color of someone's skin, and not actually because of the socioeconomic realities that come into play in the United States for people who happen to be of minority races.
saying there's something wrong with me? And everyone will think that I didn't really earn my degree. And what will happen when these...
Oh no,
Nothing funny
this
about the
guy's
tools of
supposed to be the
capitalism.
minority. I just put it all... Oh no. Oh no.
beings are put in
Is she just reading her books, maybe? I don't know.
positions that they're not qualified for.
Maybe drop out and be stuck in debt, or maybe get jobs they won't do well at? Hateling! Screamed someone. You just said that snoglings aren't qualified for college and won't do well at jobs. That's not what I said, he exclaims. Snoglings can do just as well or just as poorly as anyone else. What I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what color or type of being you are, you shouldn't get special privileges because of it.
Okay, but that's the problem. That's the problem, though. People do already get special treatment and advantages because of the color of their skin. In America, for instance, if you're a white person, you have advantages that people who aren't white do not have. Like, that's the problem. And affirmative action, if that's what you want to call it in regard to, like, college admissions and stuff, are trying to correct for the advantage that is already present. The idea that we already live in a system that is equitable to everyone is a ridiculous joke. And if you believe it, you live in a fantasy world, and you're probably the kind of person who also believes in, like, The Secret, this law of attraction bullshit. Like, this is not reality. Is this technically blackface? No, I wouldn't consider it that. I'd consider it a bad design call on her part. I don't think it was malicious, but I don't know.
It doesn't end well for anyone. Okay, Mimzi, I see where this story is going. Time to reel it in. So, the beings who were against affirmative action realized that they were just being mean old hatelings, and they finally decided to check their weebling privilege and let the poor snoglings into their college. So, later on at the park, yeah, they had a picnic and everyone lived happily ever after. Is that about right? Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Endlid with 10 bits. These people want to think everyone starts off in the same playing field. They disregard slavery, Jim Crow, white flight, mass incarceration, affirmative action, are trying to level that playing field. I agree. This has strong...
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
MMO addicted, look at this. How many days since 9/11? 69 days. Oh, Jesus. What a meme. This has strong Sonichu vibes to me. I don't know why, but this reminds me in its construction, in the level of delusion of the creator, in the intricacies that I think they probably have about, like, relationships in this world. Reminds me of Sonichu. Wind Chanter with 30 bits. Does she know that she has created a literal straw man? I don't think she is.
How did I know? Anyway, will you be sticking around for my rant today? I don't think so.
Wait, what do you think the last 10 minutes were? This whole thing has been a rant. You're just a conservative ranting about affirmative action, but with puppets. Dudes spanking dudes. By the way, my responses to my mom was not all black people are like that. You just got unlucky. Yeah, she's not great. Stephen J. Neptune, man, you need to watch this woman's rap video. We will. That'll be the last thing we watch of her today.
I've had enough right-wing propaganda for one day. Okay, I guess I'll see you later then. You know, Mimzi, you rarely offer to walk me home. It's because I'm a monster, isn't it? That's exactly what I'm talking about. You believe that people are racist against you, so you see it wherever you look. Another person might just assume that I'm merely rude. But monster or not, I would be glad to walk you home. Thank you.
If these puppets were sentient, they wouldn't be friends with you because you're apparently a puppet racist.
Bye, friends! Alright, where's my little captain? Oh, there you are, Winky.
Oh, no!
I see you are back from your beach vacation.
No!
It's time for real talk with Mimzi and Captain Winky. I guess I'll just start by saying that I think it's a bad idea to tell young people that the rest of the world is out to get them because of the color of their skin.
that white people are racist and they're keeping them down. That if they want to achieve anything in life, they'll have to work twice as hard and be twice as smart as someone else. To anyone and refuse to have compassion for. Show, you'll love my books.
This lady has broken me mentally and physically. Trigger warning. Views expressed in this video may differ from your own. Discretion is advised.
There's riots in the streets, burning stores to the ground. There's looting, violence, screaming, people running around. And what exactly do you think that you are achieving with these slogans, lies, and rhetoric these kids are believing? Abolish the police to bring peace to the hood? Y'all doing more damage than the cops ever could. America is racist, let's defund the police. When everything we've built's torn down, we'll finally have peace. Most cops are doing their job while everyone criticizes.
Dr. Gamble with 100 bits. No, my ear holes.
You're gonna win stupid prizes. There's a simple fact everyone recognizes when you
Can do a cleanse after this? Yeah.
You're gonna win stupid prizes.
Your country is racist. You're not responsible. Succeeding in life is next to impossible. It's no wonder why they're not doing their best. They're dealing, gang banging, resisting arrest. You're teaching the kids that their heroes are thugs. And the guys to look up to are the ones who deal drugs. Why aren't we succeeding? I can't understand. It couldn't be us. It must be the man.
It's a
Insert
system
the gif of
racism
Jay-Z
created
nodding.
here. You wanna know who's stopping you? Take a look in the mirror. A cop is just a guy who wants to go home to his wife, and he did what he's trained to do
And 40% of them want to go home to their wife so they can hit her. Look it up.
when he felt a threat to his life. The media selling you lies for political gain. Democrats buying you off, keeping you in mental chains. Let's have a conversation. You got something to add? So tell me your solutions. Nah, you just want to be mad. Most cops are doing their job while everyone criticizes. When you play stupid games, you're gonna win stupid prizes. There's a simple
Oh, this is so bad.
everyone recognizes. When you play stupid games, you're gonna win stupid prizes. You say that Black Lives Matter, and we all agree. But if you're not shot by a white guy, then it's like you just don't see.
Is that her
Are we
daughter
going
who
to
trafficked
have
this
a
child?
with homeless
Maybe.
dying in the hood and no one says their name. You act like nothing's
Dr.
changed
Gamble
since
says
1953.
me right now.
We're living in a different world than the one that you choose to see. You say the cops are racist, but you're making false claims. Because white people also win stupid prizes when they play stupid games.
This is Boomer
Most
AF.
cops are
No
doing
kidding.
their jobs while everyone criticizes when you play stupid games.
Rapping for Jesus would be a cleanse. At least rapping for Jesus was a parody. This is a real person.
Everyone recognizes when you play stupid games, you're gonna win stupid prizes.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
This is nuts. We will keep a close
There's
eye
nothing
on your
funny about the
career,
tools of
adventures
capitalism.
in Snortling's Hollow, Mimzi Moon, or whatever the heck you call yourself. She's only been uploading for a month. For the record, she uploads like 2 videos a week.
There's nothing funny about the tools
So
of
I think we're at the
capitalism.
ground floor on something spectacular. This is something I hope we can follow for years to come. Or she'll fall off the wagon, and the videos will get very entertaining very
There's
quickly.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Can't you get a better mic at least? It's so painful. Yeah. There should be a safe word when we watch stuff like that. You're in pain now? Hey.
There's nothing
I
funny about the tools
don't
of
make the
capitalism.
rules. I just watch the videos that I hand select.